I also thought it was pretty cool what Devonta Smith was able to do. Now, granted, you saw over the course of his game his usage start to decrease a little bit. I think they started compensating for him, but 7 catches for 100 yards probably should have had more if you consider that catch a catch that they ended up overturning. I think an argument can be made either way, but it's once again, and I talked about this on Twitter. He's played in 2 state championship games, 3 national championships, and a Super Bowl now. And that's, I mean, how many people can really say that? And, I don't really have the stats from that 2014 state championship where he was a sophomore, but we got the stats for him for the 2016 when he was a senior. And then we got all the national championship stuff in the Super Bowl, obviously. And when he's been put on the biggest stages, I mean, he's consistently performed. He's got the 41-yard, walk-off touchdown against Georgia. When he was a true freshman, I think he went for like 111 yards on 8 catches, had a 93-yard kick return for a touchdown, and also had an interception in that state championship. He had the dominant performance against Ohio State in the first half of the 2021 national title game. And then, the Super Bowl going 7 for 100. I mean, that's pretty spectacular. Every time that he's given the opportunity on those big stages, he comes through and he performs.
Yeah. Look, I remember that catch he had to beat Mississippi State.
Yeah.
And way back as a freshman, before he won the national championship against Georgia, and you're going, okay, who's this little skinny guy? And he's just got great hands and feet, and he works really hard. He's one of the greats that have ever put an Alabama uniform on, not just because he won the Heisman, but because he's great. And he performed as you would expect at the Super Bowl. He did a good job.
How in the world? You look at the guy, and even last night, he got tattooed a couple times. I mean, he's not a big guy. He's 170 pounds, maybe. I don't know really what he's listed at, but if I had to guess, I would say he's somewhere 165 to 170. And in the NFL, you would expect him to get broken in half, and yet he's extremely tough, and he's productive, and he plays much bigger than he is, and he gives a lot of effort. I mean, as far as his blocking is concerned, excellent run blocker for a guy who was 165, 170 pounds. But just, you really saw him start to emerge. I want to say the first 11 games this year, he had a good season for Philadelphia, but really over those last 9, including the playoffs, he had, I think, 5 100-yard performances. He only had 1 over the course of the first 11 games. Obviously, he had the 100-yard performance in the Super Bowl. So he's definitely trending in the right direction. And his first 2 seasons, as far as the numbers are concerned, their regular season numbers, they're very similar to Julio Jones. And we've all seen how Julio turned out. He's a Hall of Fame wide receiver.
Right.
Don't know if Devonta Smith will ever quite get there. We'll have to wait and see. But he really started to perform down the stretch. And I definitely think that Philadelphia's got, a guy who can catch 100 balls, go for 14 or 1,500 yards and score close to double-digit touchdowns. And in that offense with Jalen Hurts, and you got A.J. Brown, and you got Dallas Goedert and everything else, they're certainly going to be in the conversation for Super Bowls moving forward. Hey, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe here to the Bama Insider YouTube channel to keep up with all things Alabama football, and hit the bell so you get notified every time we go live and post new content.